Welcome to our channel. Today, we're sharing 55 fascinating Wild West photos that capture the spirit of the frontier. Let us know your favorites in the comments. At an unnamed saloon in the 1880s, patrons are seen forcing a man to dance at gunpoint, a brutal reminder of the casual violence that permeated the lawless frontier towns. Aboriginal life among the Navajo Indians, taken near Old Fort Defiance, New Mexico in 1873, shows daily life in the Navajo Nation before the region was dramatically transformed. James Younger was an infamous member of the Younger Gang, a group of outlaws who committed high-profile robberies and gunfights across the American frontier. Belle Starr, the Bandit Queen, was arrested by U.S. Marshal Charles Barnhill in 1886. Her life of crime, including horse theft and involvement in outlaw gangs, made her a notorious figure on the frontier. Buffalo Bill's Wild West show in 1890 showcased acts portraying life on the American frontier. It included Native American performers, cowboys, and sharpshooters like Annie Oakley. Our first grizzly, killed by General Custer and Colonel Ludlow in 1874, is a photograph taken by Illingworth during the Black Hills expedition. Cobweb Palace in San Francisco, famous for its eccentric owner, Abe Warner, was filled with spider webs he refused to clear, earning the saloon its eerie name. Grove Entre Camp at Fort Belknap Reservation, Montana, 1906. A dog roasts over a pot, illustrating the harsh living conditions Native Americans faced in reservation life. A teacher stands with her students in front of a sod schoolhouse in Woods County, Oklahoma, 1895. The determination to provide education in even the most remote areas. Texas Jack. Vermilion, a gunfighter and Old West figure, participated in violent feuds and lawless activities embodying the era's notorious outlaws. A black sheriff sits astride his horse in Pocatello, Idaho in 1903. Though often overlooked, black cowboys made up a significant portion of the frontier workforce. The first blacksmith shop in Guthrie, Oklahoma, 1889. Blacksmiths were vital to frontier towns, crafting tools, horseshoes, and weapons, keeping the wheels of the Old West turning. Soapy Smith was a notorious con artist and gangster who ran criminal operations in Colorado and Alaska. His scams, including rigged gambling and swindles, earned him a long-lasting reputation. A cowboy readies his lasso at a roundup on Sherman Ranch, Kansas, 1902. Ranchers in the distance await their turn to gather cattle on the open plains. Train robbers Berry, Kelly, and Chadwick carried out a daring heist in 1906, a time when such crimes were common. Outlaws frequently targeted trains for their valuable cargo. The boat crew of the Picture at Diamond Creek, 1871, features photographer Timothy O'Sullivan and fellow members of the Wheeler Survey, alongside Native Americans after navigating the Colorado River. A man poses with his rifle outside Jackson's Bar in Idaho, late 19th century. Guns were an essential part of life on the frontier, where defense and hunting were necessary for survival. A family with their covered wagon during the Great Western Migration, Loup Valley, Nebraska, 1886. This image captures the resilience and determination of settlers. 11-year-old Jimmy McKinn, abducted by Geronimo in 1885, resisted being returned to his family when briefly recaptured in 1886. He had grown attached to the Apache people and was photographed before Geronimo's surrender. Fred W. Loring, a correspondent, poses with his mule in Arizona, 1871. Just 2 days after this photo was taken, Loring was killed by Apaches. In 1907, 7 children ride to school on a cow in Okanogan, Washington. This quirky scene showcases the creativity of frontier families. Chinese immigrant labor was essential to the development of industry in the West, especially in the construction of railroads. However, their contributions led to the passage of the first anti-immigrant laws in the U.S. The Homestead Act offered 160 acres of land to citizens or those applying for citizenship, aged 21 plus, to settle and cultivate the land for 5 years or more. San Jeronimo Day is celebrated at Taos Pueblo, New Mexico, honoring Saint Jerome, the patron saint of the Pueblo. This annual event is one of the most well-known traditions in New Mexico. The first house built on the site of Dodge City, Kansas, in August 1872. Dodge City would soon become one of the most notorious frontier towns, known for its lawlessness, saloons, and shootouts. In 1898, at the White Dog Saloon, Fort Worth, Texas, a man pulls a gun, highlighting the ever-present threat of violence in the Wild West. Bertha Lebecki, dubbed Fainting Bertha, was infamous for pickpocketing wealthy men by pretending to faint into their arms. Her crime spree ended in May 1903 when she was arrested. Tom Horn, a gunman for hire turned notorious outlaw, was hanged in 1903. He was convicted for the killing of a young boy, marking the violent end of a career. The Deadwood Stagecoach in 1889 carried passengers and valuables across the treacherous trails of the Dakota Territory, symbolizing both the danger and necessity of transportation. The Table Bluff Hotel and Saloon in 1889 California featured unique handcrafted furniture, reflecting the frontier's resourcefulness in creating gathering places. Maiman, a Mojave Indian, worked as a guide and interpreter for the Wheeler Survey in 1871, aiding American explorers in their expeditions through the Colorado country. Cowboys branding cattle on the open plains, a scene from a collector's photo album. Branding was essential in the Wild West, marking cattle ownership and preventing rustling. Men gamble over a game of Faro inside a saloon in Bisbee, Arizona, 1900. Faro was one of the most popular card games in the Wild West, with high stakes and fortunes won or lost at the turn of a card. Cowboys galloped towards the camera, hats raised high, in a dramatic Wild West scene captioned "Round Up Dinner Time." This image captures the spirit of a cowboy's adventurous lifestyle on the plains. General George Custer met his end at the Battle of Little Bighorn in 1876, where Lakota and Cheyenne warriors overwhelmed his forces. It became one of the most significant Native American victories. G. Shanks is shown breaking a horse in this photograph. The image is part of a collection featuring both amateur and professional shots, highlighting the raw daily tasks of ranch life. In 1867, photographer O'Sullivan traveled to Virginia City to capture life inside the Savage and Gould and Curry mines. He used a burning magnesium wire to light the underground world of miners. Ellen Watson, or Cattle Kate, was hanged alongside James Averill in 1889, accused of cattle rustling during the Johnson County War. They were innocent, victims of a land dispute. A public hanging in Missouri, 1896. Outlaws were often executed publicly in the Wild West, with crowds gathered to witness justice being served in the lawless environment of the American frontier. Juanita McCamey, age 20, was arrested in San Diego in 1912 for participating in a public labor protest. Her involvement reflects the active role women played in labor rights during the early 20th century. Cowboys taking a break in New Mexico's Uraca Canyon, with their initials carved into the rocks above. These resting moments provided much-needed relief from the rigorous life. Mine workers emerged from a deep shaft in Virginia City, Nevada, sometime between 1867 and 1888. These miners toiled in extreme conditions underground. A group of men pose in a Wild West saloon, likely late 1800s. The exact location and date are unknown, but saloons like these were hubs of social and economic life. The White Elephant Saloon in Fort Worth, Texas, stood as one of the many bustling drinking establishments in the late 19th century, where gambling, gunfights, and revelry dominated the social scene of the time. Lakota warrior Crazy Horse led his people to victory in numerous battles, including the infamous Battle of the Little Big Horn, where General Custer's forces were defeated in 1876. Cowboys wore practical attire for long days on horseback, including button-down shirts, denim jeans, and wide-brimmed hats. Their gear was designed to endure the harsh conditions of the frontier. Annie Oakley, born Phoebe Ann Moses, became a legendary sharpshooter in the late 1800s after beating a marksman at 15. She was one of the Wild West's most famous performers. An Arizona poker party at John Doyle's Ranch, 1887 to 1889. Poker was a popular pastime in the Wild West, often played in saloons or ranches where fortunes changed rapidly in one dramatic game. A Pony Express rider photographed in 1861. The Pony Express dramatically cut mail delivery time using brave riders to cross dangerous terrain, revolutionizing communication. Prostitution was common in the Old West, but the relative freedom of frontier life allowed some women to rise from working in brothels to owning and operating their own places. Doc Holliday, a gambler, gunfighter, and dentist, became infamous for his role in the gunfight at the OK Corral in 1879, solidifying his place in Wild West lore. Tippis, near a school for Indians in 1891, show the contrast between Native American traditions and the assimilation efforts led by American settlers. Old Mission Church at Zuni Pueblo, New Mexico, captured in 1873, represents one of the early Spanish missions in the Southwest, built to convert Native Americans to Christianity. Calamity Jane, famous for her sharpshooting and close friendship with Wild Bill Hickok, was one of the most iconic figures of the Wild West.